Hey guys, hopefully I'm on time. A minute late. This dog decided to start eating right as this went live, and so I needed to go get treats. Right, Boo? Thanks for coming, hanging out. Hopefully I can see everyone's chat. So let me know if you can hear me and see me. That's always really helpful. So this live, the first half is going to be me answering some questions from Instagram and YouTube. Hey, Amanda. I'm assuming the hey is that you can hear me and see me, so that's good. And my dog is waiting for a treat because that's how I bribe her. So she's got a little stick. So the first half is going to be questions that some people sent me on Instagram and on the YouTube post. Hey, Tam. Perfect. Great. Thanks, Amanda. So, and then the second half will be anything you guys want to ask. So if you have any questions, maybe wait until the second half when I'm kind of paying attention to the chat. I hope everyone's doing well. I haven't done a live in probably about 3 or 4 weeks, and I felt like I was doing them for a second, like every week. So I have been really busy this time of year. Springtime is fire clearance where I live. In fact, there was just a training helicopter flying right before this, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what's the likelihood of them creating noise right when I'm about to have a live? But they flew away. Anyways, so it's just a busy time of year. The winter leaves, and all of a sudden the spring flowers, weeds, everyone's in the same boat as me, but it definitely takes a toll on reselling, and it also has kind of taken a toll on YouTube. So I thought scheduling a live would kind of force me to jump on and say hello to everyone. And I know depending on where you live, you might still be at home like I am. So not much has changed for me in the last week, but I know some people are able to go out a little bit more. So anyways, I'm just going to jump right into the questions. I've got 3 different sections. I have reselling, which is obvious, and I'll start with that. I have a couple YouTube questions that came in, and then I also have a few personal questions. So also just wanted to say about halfway through, I'm going to do a little giveaway of these 2 bags. So it'll be halfway through. It'll just be like some random question that I ask, and the last giveaway, I put them aside and I completely forgot. And fortunately, Becky and Betty were understanding when I was delayed in shipping them. But yeah, so if you want to potentially win a bag, hang tight, probably in around 30 minutes. And also, if you aren't subscribed, feel free to hit the subscribe. The like is always helpful on these lives as well. So let's just jump right in. So these are in no particular order, and I didn't get any duplicate questions. I feel like if you don't know, I have a second channel where I show more of my personal life. And so I feel like my life isn't really a mystery, because if you are interested in kind of my life living in a very rural area after a city, you might already watch those videos and kind of get a glimpse into my life. So I didn't get too many questions overall, but I'm just gonna go through. So the first one was, would you go to the bins at this time? So the bins aren't open near me. So the closest bins to me are Southern California, and Southern California, every county in Southern California, to my knowledge, is still at stay at home. I think there are a couple counties that are trying to kind of move a little bit ahead in the phases for our state. So there might be one county that opens before another county, but that county doesn't have bins. So I probably won't be going to the bins anytime soon. And if you're saying hello everyone. I'm so glad everyone's joining. Hopefully everyone has beautiful weather like it is here right now. So yeah, I have no interest in going to the bins until they figure out a system where I feel comfortable. And I don't think anyone really knows what kind of health issues someone might have that would make them feel comfortable being in an environment like that. Los Angeles bins are pretty close with people, and so I'm interested to see what they do. I don't know, I haven't seen anyone else, any other videos, and maybe they're out there, I just haven't watched any people and any changes at the bins in their areas if they're open. But for me, that's probably going to be a last place that I go. Yard sales and regular thrift stores are going to be probably what I focus on this summer, if and when those are happening. Second question, do I do anything specific to encourage feedback? So this is feedback on eBay, I'm assuming. Some sellers send a note after item received. and they suggest to a buyer to leave feedback. And I have a second one because a second treat for Luna because she's gonna go back there and start eating dinner and it's gonna be noisy and it's gonna drive me nuts. Come here, boo. Come. Can you take your bone? Go take it. And that might be a mistake because now she'll probably stand there licking, but so I don't worry too much about feedback on eBay. Maybe that's something I need to work on. But I think when I started eBay, I was just in general a little bit overwhelmed, just trying to figure out a new platform. And so I wasn't trying to worry too much about anything that I didn't see as crucial. Now I do have decent feedback, but I'm sure I could have more feedback if I put a little initiative in it. So I don't currently do anything. I don't think it would hurt to send someone a note. I guess my only thought around that, or things that I think I've heard other people say in eBay videos, is that you might be encouraging them to leave negative feedback by drawing attention to it. I don't know if that's true. I have never done it either way, but yeah, I'm just trying to list and sell and, resolve any issues that come up, and hopefully that just kind of leaves me with a decent feedback score. And hello everyone that's joining. I'm just answering questions about reselling that I got before this, but if you have questions, I'll answer them at the end. So it looks like someone just said, Sarah Lee just said Seattle is still closed. Yeah, I think all of the West Coast. I could be wrong. I think maybe Oregon just opened up to a degree. But yeah, we're all in different boats at the moment. So next question, would I still have chosen reselling as a career, or would you have chosen a different path from before and during the pandemic? So I've been asked this question, or kind of talked about this topic of why I'm a full-time reseller and am I happy if I'm a full-time reseller? And I don't think it really has changed since everything's been going on in the last couple months. If anything, it's kind of made it better because I haven't had to worry about my job or, most of my jobs before, it would have just been working from home. But so probably it wouldn't have changed too much. But I do like the fact that I have some control over my situation at the moment. And the only thing that's really affected or impacted is thrifting for me, which, you just kind of have to get creative, try new things. Hey, Thrifty Treasures. I just watched one of your Mercari videos a couple days ago because I've been selling on Mercari for a couple weeks and I was going through and like, what am I doing wrong? And anyways, I just watched your video and that was a really helpful video. So thank you. So yeah, I would still 100% be a reseller full time, and that is partly due to my location. I'm an hour from any major city. So for my career in marketing, business strategy, sales, most of those jobs would be at least an hour commute. And so for me, being a reseller allows me to not have to deal with the daily commute. And so I would 100% do this before, after, now. It's been a great thing. So if thrift stores in LA are closed until July or later, what are my plans for thrifting? I think they said, what are your, but what are my plans for thrifting? Will I travel farther, or am I going to look for different avenues for inventory? So I've been really fortunate in just getting creative. And my one great thing about this whole experience is free inventory. Now, I've sold a number of things that I've gotten for free during the last, 4 to 8 weeks. Mostly in the last 4 weeks. And I think that I'm much happier selling an item for $10 if it's free and there's no cost for me up front than taking a risk on something that I spend $4 or $5 on. And I'll still do that, but with kind of uncertainty. So I have been doing a lot of free inventory. I haven't done many hauls around it because I'm not sure if people enjoy it as much. But it's something that I think I'm going to probably carry through after this, and just basically just be open to people, have it part of my conversation. I think Craigslist Hunter, his videos, he talks a lot about don't be shy about telling people you're a reseller. There's a couple that's moving in a week from my community, and they couldn't have a yard sale. They had a yard sale, I think earlier or late last year. They had a whole bunch of stuff. They're like, we don't want it. I got some really great stuff from them and it was completely free. So just being open and transparent with people about what I do. And if they don't want to deal with driving an hour to donate or having a yard sale, I'm happy to kind of take it off their hands. And with a lot of the free stuff, it's just like going to the bins. You're digging through stuff. So you get that like element of what am I going to find? And it's been really fun. But I think that I don't have any plans to travel any farther. There are two counties, the county that I live in and LA County, that are an hour to 2 hours for pretty much any thrift store. The county I'm in will probably open before LA County, which is Kern County. And I'm right on the border of LA County and Kern County, or pretty close to the border. So it takes me an hour to get to the major city in Kern County, which is Bakersfield. But when they open up, which will probably be relatively soon, maybe in a week or two, I'm just gonna take my mask and head down that way. I don't go sourcing there very often, but I'm happy to if it means that I can do some sourcing. And hopefully if they maybe promote some deals or something. They don't have bins there, but maybe they'll do some extra deals if they've got too much inventory. And I don't know, I'm just speculating, but I'm not gonna, I did think about, should I just drive to Vegas? So many of you people in Nevada, I thought about it. I was like, I just have to go through a desert, just one giant desert to get there. And I could do some great thrifting there, but I decided, no, I've got all this free stuff that I'm collecting, which has been great. I'm getting organized. I'm really appreciating this time. And so I'm just gonna enjoy it while it lasts, because once those floodgates open, I'm sure that I won't really get back this time. And the dog is being noisy, so apologies. Oh, thanks, Jacob. Yeah, so Luna, my dog, it was her birthday. She turned 3 2 days ago, which she's a rescue, so I actually don't know her exact date, but when you adopt a dog or rescue a dog, they give you a date, and so it's just an estimation. So within this week is when she turns 3, but thank you for saying something. She got a new leash, she's getting a little swimming pool, and that's not reselling related, but she's noisy back there. Let's see. I think I answered that question. And I don't know if LA's thrift stores are going to be closed until July or later. I think there's a lot of concern because of some things that there will still be things impacted probably for quite some time. But I don't think it will be, I don't know. We'll see. I'm open. Let's see. How many items do I list daily or weekly to have consistent sales? So I am not consistent on my listing. And I'm not going to apologize for it. I put stress on myself, as I'm sure a lot of resellers do. You put stress on yourself of, okay, so-and-so saying that they list 10 items every day, and if you can up it to 11 items each day, that's 7 more items each week, and that could be 1 extra sale each week, you could do a lot of calculations and a lot of what ifs. I think what I've realized is I want to list when I have things. I also don't want to sacrifice my regular life. And, it's important for me to have balance, work-life balance. I didn't leave a career where I was working 60, 70 hours a week to then be just consumed by this. So I've really worked since January of this year on balance. And so I typically will list things on eBay first, 10 to 20 items within every couple days. So I skip days, and I don't think it's impacted my sales at all. So let's see. The dog is still noisy back there, so if you can hear her, oh man, I should have put her in a little crate. All right, so let's see. Would I refund a purchase when the description has all info and measurements and the buyer said it didn't fit? So I think this was a question on another recent video, and I just thought since it came in right around the same time, I would throw it in here. I do returns on eBay, 30-day buyer pays returns. I really like it. I don't get many returns. And as a buyer, I like to have some sort of comfort. I don't think that, I don't know. I don't think it's worth the hassle too much. It's why I don't comment. If someone opens a case on Poshmark, which is rare, I'm not going to comment back, because if they just want to return it, even if it's a scammer, now mind you, this has not happened in something that's, $200, $300, $400 worth, and I could potentially be scammed out of a really great item. I haven't encountered that, but for the majority of people, it may be a fit thing, because what they're saying is if they have all the description and measurements, would I still refund? Yeah, I mean, on eBay, yeah. And on Poshmark, if Poshmark accepts the return, have at it. I mean, does it burn me? Yes. If someone does something inappropriate where I feel is inappropriate, I might block them so they don't make any future purchases from me. But that's about it. I really don't want to waste my time on them because it's rare. So let's see. So done with the 4-star reviews. for fit. I know. I think they could probably make it a little bit more clear for people on Poshmark specifically about this is rating the seller, not the item, but we're all there. We all get those weird 4-star or even 1-star reviews where you're like, they clearly say didn't fit, unhappy, and you're thinking, oh, but I tried. Anyways, all right. Would I refund? No, I already got that one. Managed payments. So someone asked if I have signed up for managed payments, and I have. I would have signed up at eBay Open last year, except managed payments wasn't going to work if you used global shipping program. I don't know why that was a mouthful, but basically when I talked to them at eBay Open, managed payments, I have no objection to it. There are people that don't have PayPal accounts. There are people that don't understand PayPal. There are new people coming to eBay who don't want to start a PayPal account. And I don't think there's any harm in it because people can still use PayPal. I think change is hard for all of us. And so I don't know what it's going to look like as far as the change. But I do think that if it's more options with Apple Pay and Google Pay and some of that kind of stuff, credit cards, I'm all for it. So that's it for the reselling questions I got before this. I'm bribing the dog with treats, which is why she's right here. Okay, so YouTube. There were a few questions around YouTube. Let's see. What was the most difficult part of making YouTube videos? And they said it in past tense, so maybe my week off was too long for someone, but I'm still making them. So as far as in the beginning, which is what I'm assuming this was in reference to, starting YouTube is just hard because you just have to start and you have to be vulnerable and that you're probably going to be really awkward. It's going to be really uncomfortable. Start if you want to do it. But I'd also say this, I have a second channel and I don't make very much. I do make a little bit of ad money on it, but I don't make very much. Starting Mercari, I'm making more on my first month in Mercari than I am in my second channel on YouTube. So, be realistic with what your objective with YouTube is if you want to start it. If you're wanting it to be 0 to 50,000 subscribers overnight, it's probably going to be pretty disappointing for you because it's kind of a long haul and it's a lot of work to get any sort of payout. If you really like the social aspect of it, that can be really great because you can network with people. But I think as far as money, I think I would suggest starting a separate platform if you can over YouTube if it's a money thing, but that's just me. So, all right. How much do you make on YouTube? That's a good question. It varies. I would say most months are somewhere between 1,000 to 2,000, and the majority of that is this channel. And keep in mind, I still have to pay taxes on that. And it just depends on how much content you're putting out, how well received that content is. Does it ever go viral? I'm not aiming for the viral content because I don't want the kind of the hate that comes with it. But when I'm really on it, it can really be great, but it wasn't until, you have to get through a lot of work to get there. So, who are you watching on YouTube these days? So I didn't know if this was personal or YouTube, but I threw it under YouTube. So I'm watching I'm not watching much reseller content right now. I kind of need to decompress. So if it's nighttime, I'll put on some food stuff like Bon Appetit. They've got a really great YouTube channel, so I watch a lot of them. I occasionally put on some Food Network stuff because I don't have cable, so I can't watch those like cooking channels easily. And let's see, resellers. I mean, Amber, I know she's busy and she's part-time, but when she puts out YouTube content, I never miss hers. Amber resells. Lori, I watch hers, a lot of Josh, Becky Park. I'm probably skipping Bin Pickers, Thrifty Treasures, who I already shouted out, but I'll shout out again. She's got some really great content, more geared. I like her content on eBay, but she also does some Amazon stuff. And so I've been watching a little bit more of Thrifty Treasures. And then I haven't been as good at the reselling stuff. So I'm probably missing some people, but I'm trying to think if there are any new people. I thought about doing a video. I like to click on videos where they have very few views. And so I know that they're probably new, but I like to just see kind of some of the new YouTubers coming in. And if I can leave a comment and just say, hey, great video, or give them a thumbs up just to try and support. So I've done that with a lot of ThredUp boxes. So if you've had a ThredUp box and you have a small channel, I may or may not have given you a thumbs up. recently. I don't know, but I've been watching some of that just as background noise and just to try and support some of the newer YouTubers. All right, personal. So a few personal questions, then I will do some bag giveaways, and then I'll move into questions from this whole jazz. So thanks everyone for hanging out. It's 6 p.m. here, but it's a little bit later other places. So, all right. Oh, and because she's popping up, Tam. I always watch Tam, but that's understood. Tam, I had a video where I put out some of my favorite people on YouTube. Tam is one of the first people that I started watching on YouTube, and she inspires me with hard goods, and I do sell hard goods, and I like hard goods. I think I like hard goods videos a lot these days, but that's just because it's still not my major my major thing that I'm selling. All right, let's see. Personal. Favorite activity to do during quarantine. So you're looking at it. I'm just kidding. I mean, most of quarantine, we had some really terrible weather. I am in a snowy area, a wintry area in Southern California, AKA I'm higher elevation. So the first part of quarantine was really tough because we were all pretty scared. We didn't know anything going on and the weather was terrible. So it's not like I could go outside and, you know, get that vitamin D. But I think once the first few weeks passed, I started seeing a glimpse here and there of some sunshine and stuff like that. And so I would say my favorite thing to do is just to be outside. It is a lot for me to maintain some land on my own. So I have a garden tractor and I have to do my own fire clearance. And I've got a little over an acre of flat land, and then I have kind of a cliffside part land as well. And so it's a lot to maintain, but I also have a garden that the animals, the wildlife have basically destroyed the last 2 years. So the very first year I had it was, I had just my fence, but it was a little higher so that my main goal was keep out the deer and elk, which are gonna go after your garden. Well, then that first year I thought, oh no, something's going after my vegetables. And so I lost all my vegetable plants and I thought it was bunnies. So I put a border the next year, a brick around, and I was like, these bunnies are not gonna get in. And then the next year, yeah, things got in. And I was like, what are these bunnies doing? And one day I just happened to be out there and I saw some birds coming through the sides. And so this year, my objective was even though it's got the fence around, the fence is kind of big enough for a bird to go through. And so I've got some more thin mesh, kind of a wire mesh that I'm wrapping around. And eventually I'll do some sort of roof that can stand the winds up here, but it's a constant project. And I'm trying to think, there are some people I follow. I follow a lot of people on Instagram on my personal account that are gardeners. And so I get a lot of tips and tricks there, but someday, it may take me 10 years, but someday I'm gonna have a really amazing garden. It's just not happening now. And Tam, I saw some of your posts on your flowers. You had just amazing posts that you were sharing on Instagram about your flowers, and I'm envious. I can't grow much that isn't in a space like that because if it's not deer elk proof, they will just go after it. I've lost a lot of plants that I've spent a lot of money on because the deer and elk will go after it. So there's some things like liquid fence that I've tried. I mean, I could go on and on, but I don't want to bore you guys. But yeah, so probably just being outside, yeah, has been my favorite thing. Let's see, ironically, someone asked, what is my favorite vegetable? That was on Instagram, and I don't know where that came from, but I have a lot of favorite vegetables. I would say I like cauliflower just for the versatility. You can I love it roasted just plain. I love it roasted with seasoning, but you can also make it into other things, which I like. I don't typically do a lot of that. I usually I like it raw too. So I like cauliflower. But man, I like vegetables, and tomato is my favorite fruit. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the list goes on, so I don't want to bore you, but let's run with cauliflower. Okay. Did my new rural lifestyle make the stay-at-home easier or harder than San Francisco would have been? 100%. If you were living in a city right now and you're like, oh my gosh, this has been the hardest 2 months of my life, and you have any interest in moving to a rural area, move. Best decision I ever made. Now, are there elements of city life that I miss? I am truly a city person. I am most comfortable in cities. I like chaos. I like the noise. You're kind of hidden in a sea of people. I love being in a big city. The good thing about reselling though, is I go to the big city when things are open, and I can kind of get my city fixes, and then I come home to vacation. Majority of the time is vacation. So I know there's a lot of my friends who live in the city and they would never ever live where I live, and they're just a diehard city person. But I was always escaping the city on weekends, and I'm very happy, especially during a time like this. I can walk out my front door. I've got lots of property. I've got lots of trails nearby. We're always social distancing here. I mean, unless you go in a place physically, you're just always social distancing. So I feel if I were in San Francisco, I think I would have been pretty sad. Because I'm a 350 square foot studio. I would have had to walk down a hall to the stairs, go down 3 flights of stairs just to get outside. But then there's people outside. I don't know. I've thought a lot about this, and I feel like it's a blessing in disguise that I am not there, because I think it would have taken a toll. But I do like seeing all the videos of people in cities kind of finding new ways to connect. I think that's really inspiring. And I think hopefully I would have done something like that. But yeah, it's much better, I think, here than it would have been in the city. Will you ever do a house tour? Is it mid-century, modern? And then they like the views. So I show a lot of my house and my personal life on the other channel. Link is below, City Girl Unplugged. I keep this channel for pretty much reselling. And the reason for that is I know not everyone really wants to know about my life. They're trying to learn reselling. I know that when I was trying to watch reselling content when I first started, I didn't want to know about people's lives. I was really just there for the reselling content. So if you are that person, no hard feelings. I totally get it. I was that person. So that's why I started the second channel. Was I was getting questions about my personal life. People thought it was strange that I left San Francisco to move to the middle of nowhere. So yeah, I haven't done a house tour, but I also don't have a very big house. My house is 1,300 square feet. On the bottom ground is only 1,000 square feet. The only room I won't show, and I have chosen to just completely keep a camera out of, is my bedroom. And that is just, I feel like when you put your life on the internet, having some sort of boundaries. So, whether it be new people in my life that maybe I don't want to show to the world quite yet, they probably will not be, I don't know. I'm a little protective of certain things, but for the most part, my life's online. So if you want to go see my life, it's there. And as far as a house tour, I should do that in a video on the vlog channel, but I feel like all aspects of my house is always shown. There's my front door, there's the dining room table that I sit at when I'm filming. Typically, there's my living room. So Thrifty Treasures, you keep getting house request tours. Yeah, I've been getting them for quite some time because I think people want to see what's behind the rectangle. But yeah, a lot of my house is shown on the second channel. So, and it's not mid-century modern, it's just odd. I pulled up my carpet in here, and even though some of the tile is cracked, I love the impact. My ceiling is all wood. It's an old cabin. Someone built this as a cabin, as kind of a second home. It was not great materials, and so it's rustic. But I like, a lot of us, we're resellers, and so we like to thrift, and we like to go to antique stores, and we like secondhand. And so a lot of my stuff in my house is secondhand, and I'm still pulling it together. It's just a constant process. So let's see. And then the last question, and then I will flip to this. How am I and my family dealing with all this craziness? Is everyone in my personal bubble safe and doing well? And does Luna get to see her dog friends as often? That was one person with a few questions. So everyone in my family is doing really well. We have a Sunday game night, a virtual game night. So my sisters live a couple hours south of me. My parents live about an hour away from me. And so I don't see them all the time anyways, but I know my parents, my mom, if you're watching, I know you miss your grandkids, her grandbabies, which are not really grandbabies anymore. They're preteens, but tweens. But anyways, we have a family game night every Sunday that we started, and it has been, Coal City Loot. I haven't seen you pop up in a while. So I met Coal City Loot at eBay Open, and she is just as amazing in person as she is on Instagram. So definitely, yeah. So my family's all doing really well. My parents and my parents are of a certain age, and so there's just trying to protect them. My dad has had some heart issues his whole life. And so I think they're really trying to be really safe. But yeah, family game night is something I look forward to every Sunday and every week. And we have Zoom, and my nieces have their own devices. And so everyone's just chatting. And it's actually, I think, brought us closer together. And there's been no one, to my knowledge, in my family that has had any major health issues. I have had a couple friends up in San Francisco who have been hospitalized because of everything. And one of them I've been in contact with, and just breaks my heart what he had to go through, and he wasn't insured. And so he had some issues. So my heart breaks for anyone that's impacted with their family and friends. But yeah, so far so good with my direct family. So, and yeah, Luna, she's here. She's snoozing right now, but she gets to see her friend Koa. So I've got two friends who live pretty close to me, and our dogs are the same age, and they play all the time. And those have been pretty much the only two people I've seen in 2 months, outside of just going to the post office a couple days a week. And yeah, so she's gotten to see Koa, but she does miss her daycare because she was going to daycare once to twice a week. And so I feel bad that she doesn't get kind of the pack vibe of daycare, but she'll go back. And she's just loving the sunny weather and the lizards. She loves chasing lizards. So anyways, all right. So let's see, timing wise, I'm doing good. I'm on track. That took me half hour. So I'm going to do a little giveaway, and I'm trying to think of some random questions. I feel like the best thing, oh, Dina Hicks, thank you. That's really sweet. That is very sweet of you. Thank you so much. It'll probably just be treats for Luna. So, right, Boo? She's just chilling right here. So I have these bags for sale. I've been pretty terrible at sharing them. There's one that says good thrift vibes, and then there's one that says Ben's hair don't care. I designed these a while ago, and self-promotion is really tough for me. So anyways, I like to give them out. If you do want to buy one, there is a link below, but I'm just, yeah. If I can give them out every live, that just makes a lot of sense too. So, all right, so let's see. First one, we'll do the Ben's hair don't care. And this one is not the one going to be shipped out. This is actually one that I use, so it's a little mangled, but let's see. What should we, I can't do the same questions as last time. And I feel like I've already shared a lot in this video that would be relevant to today. Let's see so it's going to be the first person that answers. And I know these can get kind of crazy, but for the Ben's hair don't care, what 3 platforms do I sell on? Go. And I hope I actually know this. Thanks, Scully Star Fashions. Okay. I think I've got someone. Amanda. I feel like, Amanda, you were one of the first ones on the live. So Mercari, Poshmark, and eBay. Yes. So currently I'm testing out Mercari. I'm a very loyal eBay and Poshmark seller. Mercari is more of a new thing, but yes, those are the 3 that I am currently selling on. And on my computer, I would show you, but on my computer, I've got Amanda. Is it Nugent? Oh man. Anyways, Amanda, email me. My email's down below, and just let me know your address so I can ship this out to you. And yeah, okay, second one, let's see. Oh man. I should have planned these out in advance, but let's do something. Yeah, let's just share. How old am I? Yeah, let's go with how old am I for the good thrift vibes. Close, Jacob. Close, Lori. I wish I was that still, but I'm very happy. No one's gotten it yet. Oh man, it's going, oh wait, I think I got it. I think Tori D, but let me go up and see if anyone got it before. Okay, I'm glad you guys aimed a little young, because if you started going, 50, I probably would have cried. Not to say 50 is bad. I'm not even 40 yet. So I have Tori D as 38. So Tori D, email me. The email is down below, and I will ship this out to you. And hopefully you guys are going thrifting at some point in the near future, and you can kind of take these with you. So just jumping into comments now. Any questions you guys have? I'm here until either a battery dies or my sunlight goes away. One of the two, because that's always just a good gauge for me to use here. So let's see. Yeah, Tori. Oh, good. You're glad. You're glad you got it. Yeah. Yeah. It may have been a guess, but I just turned 38 in April. So I was 37 most of my YouTube channel time. All right. Let's see. What is your favorite brand to pick up at the thrift store? And that's from Amanda. Let's see. Favorite brand to pick up at the thrift store? I would have to say the one I get most excited about, hands down, is probably Burberry. I've just had consistently decent luck with it. It's a very, very expensive brand. Because then my mind goes to like other brands that I really like. But yeah, I would say Burberry is one of the ones. And not everything resells for huge, huge dollar amounts, but it's just pretty consistent for me, and it just gets me excited because it's classic. So Scully Star Fashions, Rita, that is really sweet of you. Get Luna some treats. She's had a lot of treats this week, and I thought she was gonna get sick to her stomach, but right, Boo? Yeah, you gotta downsize too, right? Thank you, Rita. That's very sweet of you. All right. Let's see. Now I've got to catch up. How's your leg? Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna go back because then I'll get. Now I'm really sidetracked. Okay, so let's see. What were your first thoughts when you hit the bins for the first time? That's from Dina. I don't. It was horrific. I mean, it was so overwhelming, and that's why I tell people, anyone that's just been to the bins one time, if you didn't like it, if it was overwhelming, just go, leave when you want, try again, or try a different location. Most of the locations in Southern California, so there are a couple in the LA area, but there are some that are a little outside of the LA area. And so I go to a lot of them, and some of them I prefer, but every single one, it took me a few times of going to that specific location in order to kind of get my groove there. So I would say if you aren't a bins shopper because you had a bad experience, try going again, or 3 times. Posh Boss Blake, that's actually how I reached out to him. Was he said he had a really bad experience at the bins, and he's an LA person. And so I was like, let's go. I don't typically do that to people, but I was watching his YouTube channel for some of his cooking content. And yeah, so whoops, where did I go? I just lost my chat. Let's see. So someone asked about my leg. So my leg, I would show you right now, but I'm in jeans, and that would require me, yeah. But yeah, my leg is so much better. It still has a little bit of a scab on the back, so it hasn't 100% healed. I'm using some, I can't remember what it is, what the name is, but I'm using some kind of gel to hopefully help with any sort of scarring. But if you don't know what they're talking about, I had a little injury on the back of my kneecap, and it was basically rope burn, and so that was really annoying and painful. So yeah, it's doing a lot better. I'm in the clear, I think. All right, what are your short-term business goals like next month or so? And that's it from Essential Endeavors. I think really a lot of the last month, 2 months, and probably the next month or 2 months is just going to be hanging in there. I think that, oh, thanks, Rita. Yeah, go take the dog for a walk. Luna would love to go on a walk, but she's stuck here with me at the moment. Thank you so much. So yeah, I think my business goals haven't changed too much. As far as I just want to keep listing and keep selling. I did jump on Mercari to test that out. And I think I'm just trying not to beat myself up over a day where I just don't feel like working. And usually, like YouTube, for example, I went probably 7 or 8 days without posting a video. I can't tell you the last time I did that. I've been very, very consistent with YouTube, but for some reason the last week, I was doing more personal stuff, and I was still needing to resell and take photos and do that kind of stuff. And so YouTube just came as a second. It's like, instead of beating myself up, just move on, and just keep going. So that's probably gonna be my attitude for a while, is just do what I can do and try and have a life outside of reselling, and whatever gets thrown my way. And also just be open to things like the free inventory. I mean, I sold a couple things yesterday, And it was free stuff that I would never pick up, but it brought in $9 here, $15 here, and all of that kind of stuff adds up. So I'm just trying to adapt, I think, like everyone is. Okay, what was your absolute best flip ever? Okay, can I just say this? This is not my best flip ever, but this happened this week and I was so bummed. So there was a designer, Laura or Lona, I can't remember. Piana? I can't remember. Kind of a rare designer. And it was a vest, an open vest. It was a cashmere blend. The comps were mixed, but I priced it at $250. And I got an offer this week for $180. Oh my gosh. I was like, accept. Like, you know, you just get that, oh my gosh, are you? And it hasn't been listed that long. It's only been listed for 2 months. So immediately after accepting the offer and being super excited, she sends the question on Poshmark that says, is this authentic? Well, here's my issue. This is a vest by a very rare designer. This is not a designer that's faked very often or probably ever. So it's not an item where if it were a Gucci or a Prada, I would be like, okay, I can understand what they're asking. But I responded with what I thought was fair, which is, you know, Poshmark's authentication service only works for items over $500. I could be wrong. You guys can correct me. But so unfortunately, there's no way to verify authenticity. But according to this is not a brand that's often faked. According to all of the research I've done, it appears to be authentic. I was trying to be honest, Yeah. And then she came back and said, well, if it's not real, I don't want it. And then I'm like, oh man. So if I had lied and said, yeah, and it wouldn't have been a lie. I think it's 100% authentic. If I was worried, I would get it authenticated. But anyways, I decided to cancel the order. I gave her the option, but just because I don't want to deal with any sort of cases open against me for that. So I was really bummed, but the right buyer is going to come and they're going to know that that's not something that's faked very often. I can't even remember the designer's name, but my best flip was actually from a threaded box. It was a Chanel bag. And yeah, actually selling from YouTube. Got it. So I didn't know what to do with it. I was very overwhelmed. It was a bundle, so I can't remember the exact price breakdown of that and a few other items, but it was over $1,000 and it was I think it was like from a 50 handbag box when they had those over a year ago. And yeah, I had it authenticated and it was beautiful and it was buttery. And that's probably gonna be the only time in my life, maybe not, maybe I'm a reseller and I'll come across Chanel again, but I won't be buying Chanel. So I was just to have it, it's a nice bag. And it was vintage, so. All right, let's see. Weirdest thrifting experience, oh man. You know, I hear a lot of strange stories, especially specifically around the bins. A lot of people, I think there's a lot of fear tactics around the bins. Now keep in mind, if people are on YouTube, there's a sort of element that they want people to click on their videos. So they might use something that's kind of gross or horrific or something like that to get people to click on it. And it's because, you know, we're all trying to just get you to click on our videos over other videos. So I don't knock people for doing it, but that's probably why the bins experiences that are bad get shared pretty often, is because it's like, oh, this would make a good video. And let's see, it looks like there's some political stuff going on. Sorry guys, I'm not on top of the okay. Hide person. Okay. Okay, hopefully I got that off. We do not want to turn this into anything political. All right, so now I need to go backwards. Let's see. What is your favorite place to stop to eat on your drive to and from your thrifting trips? That's an interesting question. I don't eat much meat. I do eat some, but I don't eat much meat these days. Before I kind of limited or stopped eating as much meat, In-N-Out, 100%. There's an In-N-Out about an hour from me on the way to LA, and then there are In-N-Outs in LA. So yeah, In-N-Out for sure. Let's see. Looks like everyone's chatting with everyone, which is awesome. What is the item that excites you most when you find it thrifting? So I kind of said Burberry, but some other brands that I get excited about, Patagonia, because I just really like the brand personally, and it usually has a really strong resale value for most items, not all. And I like finding Johnny Was because it's rare for me, and that also is kind of hit or miss with certain things, but yeah, it usually sells pretty quick for me. And what are some other ones? I mean, my favorites are really the ones that I'm like, this could be something or it's just junk. And then you all of a sudden you look it up and you're like, oh my gosh, is this real? Those are the ones that are so exciting for me, are just kind of the new brands or new designers. So yeah. All right, if I'm missing any question, just feel free to ask it again. I'm trying to catch up. Let's see. For someone who hasn't been to Tehachapi, name a little spot one would have to visit if they went there for the day. So I live in the greater Tehachapi area. So Tehachapi, the city, is fairly small, but there are lots of different communities around. And but a lot of like the shopping and stuff is actually in Tehachapi. So that's where I do my grocery shopping. That's where our post office is. And that's about 30 minutes away from me. I would say if you have never been to Tehachapi and maybe you're driving through or you just want a little escape, if you're a really big train fanatic, we have something called the Tehachapi Loop, and it's a really amazing thing to see. And there's like a little train museum. So that gets a lot of, if you Google Tehachapi, that's usually what pops up is the Tehachapi Loop. They did this giant loop with the trains so that it goes up this pretty significant grade, and it's just going over the mountains, which is, I'm at the very bottom part of the Sierra Nevada range. And so it's from like LA to Northern California or north. And so that's kind of there's a really good little German bakery called COMMONTAGS, and they have really great sandwiches. I go there to buy bread occasionally. And Tehachapi Mountain Park is probably my favorite, just to go on a hike, or they also have campgrounds there. So if you like camping. But yeah, we have wineries, we have a couple breweries, we've got some, kind of small restaurants. I think a lot of people are typically homebodies here, so it's like when people come here, it's not like it's a big tourist destination, but it's paradise if you like the outdoors, in my opinion. So, and I'm 2 hours north on a map from downtown LA, I'm 2 hour drive from north of LA. So yeah. All right, let's see. I feel like I've got a delay. So what's your most exciting find? I don't consider the Chanel bag a find because I didn't find it. I mean, I opened it in a throw-up box, but what's my most exciting find? I would say probably there was this, oh man, my very first big find was a Free People bag. It was this beautiful leather bag, cowhide. It was very boho. And I think that sold for $125, $130. And that was like 2 months into reselling. I was a part-time reseller, and that was probably the most excited I got. And it was one of those like impulse. I was on my way to the register. They were closing the store. It was after work, and I couldn't find the brand, but I was like, this feels like quality. This is beautiful. And then later I got home and I finally found the Free People tag. And Free People, it's hit or miss, but that still sold very quickly for a high dollar amount to a very new reseller, which I was. So that's probably one that stands out in my mind. Let's see. Are you cross-posting? Are you using a cross-posting platform currently? Yes, I am. I am testing one out, which I will share soon as soon as I kind of get an understanding. So I tested out both List Perfectly and Vendoo 9 months ago. I did not, there were elements I liked of both. And I know there's people that are very, very loyal to List Perfectly, and there are people that are very loyal to Vendoo. For me, the price didn't make sense for how much time. Now, because I'm starting Mercari, so I probably have about 250 to 300 items on Mercari that I've cross-listed using this platform. I'm testing it out, and from a bulk standpoint, it can be good, but there's also elements of the other one. So I think right now is I'm trying one, I might try the other one again and then do a video on it. But, it would have to be a pretty significant time saver. And also for everyday stuff, I feel like my copy and paste method is pretty time efficient. So, but if it gets you to list on another platform and just makes it easier, then I think it's great, because I personally do like having multiple platforms. Let's see. Tam, go see the grandbaby. Love seeing your post. Thanks for hanging out. That was probably 12 minutes ago because I'm behind, but that's okay. All right. Have I ever sourced inventory on Poshmark for the purpose of resale? So this goes into online retail arbitrage. It is, I just don't have patience for it. I have every intention. Okay, I'm going to put on some Netflix. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to look at Nordstrom Rack. I'm going to look at eBay. I'm going to look at Poshmark. And then I get distracted by shiny objects. I respect anyone that likes that, but I think because I don't like online shopping in general and searching for stuff, it's maybe why I don't like the online arbitrage. So yeah, I have dabbled very unsuccessfully, but so. All right, let's see. Vicky Vault, you're back to work this week and really wish you could quit to resell clothing full time. Any thoughts? You think this has pushed your dreams further away though. Any thoughts would be appreciated. So Vicky, that's a really interesting topic. I think I went full time a little too soon, but I was also really unhappy with my 3-hour daily commute. And I knew I was going to have to take a hit financially. So I think it depends on your finances. If you have a little bit of cushion, I would agree with you. It's a really tough time. But I also think there's just so much uncertainty that I don't know. I don't think any of us can predict anything. But so far, I'm happy I'm a reseller at this time because I could just work harder and kind of have some control. But yeah, if you're doubting it, I would say maybe don't just take the leap until you kind of have everything in order, because that's really important, is to kind of understand what are your numbers like right now? What do you have to pay on taxes? What are you going to do for health insurance, my 401k, all of that stuff I had to kind of factor in. And although that's not really the most exciting stuff, that was stuff that was given to me for the most part at previous jobs. And so I didn't want to lose that. So I still have 401k to work out. I still have to worry about taxes because no one's taking that out from me. And like all the, business expenses and where are you going to invest, in your business, and all of that can be very overwhelming. So if you have a little bit of a cushion and you have a little bit of a map, it might derail, but it's, I think, better to just have some idea. All right. Ooh, man, we are backed up again. Okay. Sorry, Jacob, I'm seeing your LOL political spam. Yeah, sorry guys. All right, how do I like Mercari so far? So I'm actually going to film an update video on the first 2 weeks, and that's probably gonna go up tomorrow or the next day. So, it's all the platforms have pros and cons. I think being the new guy, AKA Mercari is the new guy for me. I'm very easy, or I'm comparing it to Poshmark and eBay, and that's not really fair for Mercari in a lot of ways. But I also think they aren't designed in their platform to be for a big seller. So if it continues and I sell things, I'm not going to knock it, but I'm just in the trial period. All right. Let's see. Amber, what's up, girl? Amber resells. If you guys aren't subscribed to her, I'm guessing everyone is, because her and I put out a lot of similar content. Amber also, her wedding, which was supposed to be in July, which I was actually going to go to, is probably not happening to the degree that it was originally going to. So I can't wait for her to kind of reschedule maybe a reception after all of this is kind of done. But what a whirlwind she's had this year. So go check out her channel if you want updates on her life. But what other names did you consider for Luna? A great question. I did not name Luna. So I was going to get her brother, and what was his name? They were the litter from Harry Potter. So they were all named Harry Potter. Draco. I've actually never read or seen Harry Potter, so I think it was Draco. Anyways. And I was gonna get her brother, and then the brother was bigger than her, and I was still living in an apartment in San Francisco, and my landlord wouldn't let me have a dog over 50 pounds, which she's over 50, so it would have, or over 40 or something. So I actually switched dogs and said, I just need a smaller dog in this litter. Is there like a runt or something? She's not the runt, she was just a little smaller. But because I had picked out all these cool names for Draco, I think that's the name of the other dog, I was really bummed. And so I just didn't rename Luna. So they named Luna Lovegood is the character, and I just stuck with it. I was like, I know there's a lot of Luna dogs. I go to daycares. They're like Luna here, Luna there. It's not original, but it fits her. And so I didn't really think about any other names for her. But yeah. Let's see. My thriving treehouse. Night owl or early riser? These days I am night owl for sure. So at the beginning of the year, I started going to bed almost every night before midnight. And there's a giant bird right there, and Luna's about to go crazy. So if you hear her, the bird is on the deck. Okay, just flew off. We're in safe zone. This is the witching hour where all the animals come out. And so she's on like high alert of, I need to guard the house from every critter outside. So anyways, yeah, I worked at a coffee shop for a number of years, and, you know, waking up and going to work at 4 a.m. is pretty much the most horrific thing. But I did that for, yeah, a long time. Not every day, but multiple days out of the week. So if I need to, like when I go to the bins, I have to wake up and leave my house about 5 a.m. I will do it. But I like staying up at night, and I like sleeping in a little bit. So I'm just more productive at night. The mornings, I'm just like leisurely. I'm just, you know, drinking my coffee, etc. All right, let's see. Trying to catch up. Yes, in and out. Oh man. Do I sell hard goods as well? Yes, I do. Less so for a couple of reasons. Storage, and also I started watching clothing resellers, and so I felt like I needed to kind of get a grasp on that. But I definitely sell hard goods. I would say the split is probably currently 5% of my sales are hard goods. But when the yard sales start happening, and when I go to certain locations at the bins, I will pick up more hard goods. I've sold giant printers. I'm not afraid. I like a little bit of the challenges that get thrown my way. So hard goods kind of fascinate me. Also, recently, I've been thinking about maybe doing some kind of learning more about appraisal and just that process, because, you know, if there's something that I can add on to my business that could provide me some more education, but also kind of fluff up my business. And, you know, there's a lot of people here you know, yard sales here are just, I don't know, it's just everyone's so spread out. There's not as many people. So I think that there's opportunities here of maybe someone leaving, and maybe they've got some things that they want to sell. And so I'm just kind of looking at options like that for hard goods, but we'll see. I'm open-minded. What is a brand I want to sell but haven't found in the wild yet? Oh man, I feel like I've been asked this question and I never remember. And that's from Baja Cowgirl. I love that name. Nothing comes to me very quickly. So when I'm on the spot, it stresses me out because I can never think of what I want. I'm trying to think if there's like a designer. I found a lot of stuff, and I've never found a Louis Vuitton bag. So let's just add that. And those are faked often. So I would 100% be getting that authenticated, but that's on my bucket list. So let's run with that. Let's see. Have you guys downloaded the app Seller Insight? It's a dashboard for Poshmark. I'm enjoying it. Just heard about it from Becky Park. Oh, Becky, I can't keep up with everyone's videos, but if Becky Park mentioned it, I'll definitely check it out. That sounds like maybe a good option. I'm not sure if it's just data, which is great. I think Poshmark is lacking in data, so I'll definitely check that out. Let's see. Going through. Everyone's having a conversation. Your cats do the exact same thing. They love to sit up on the window and cackle at all the birds. Yeah. All right. So makeup or natural? So I'm wearing makeup now. I don't put on a lot of makeup in general. And when I do put on makeup, it's pretty natural looking. So so this is like me making up my own question for myself, but you know, when people ask, like, if you were to go to a deserted island, what's the one thing you would take? So it used to be mascara, but then I found an eyeliner pencil, or not eyeliner, an eyebrow pencil. And so now I'm very torn between those two. Would it be the eyeliner pencil, or sorry, the mascara or the eyebrow pencil? I have naturally very light eyebrows. So even though it looks very natural right now, this is actually some pencil. So those are the two that I would take, just because I have very blonde features on my face, and I do like a little bit of attention on my eyes. So yeah, anyways. But I have a fairly basic daily makeup routine, or I just don't wear makeup. But when I go out of the house, I typically have kind of the basics. Let's see. What do you look for at a yard sale? Oh, any yard sale ad, what attracts you to them? That's from Dina. So Dina, that's a great question. We don't have anyone using ads around here, which drives me bonkers. So I've actually talked to some people about this. Why don't you post this on Craigslist? It's free. Because it would be so much easier if I could, because I have the little app, Yard Sale Treasure Map. It would be so great if I could kind of map out my day. I know a lot of people do that. No one uses it here because they don't want, from my understanding, they don't want people from nearby cities to come to their house. So they want it to be more community-based. So they like their yard sale signs, which just drives me bonkers. But when I go to them, when I see a sign, sorry, I feel like I'm really bitter about it, but it would just be so much easier and they could sell more. I look for anything. Anything. I like the unknown because the moment you look something up, which yard sales, it's a little tough, but the moment you look something up that you think might have some value, I'm not a big antique person, I should say that. And partly that's because my mom also sells online and she's more into the antiques. And so I think I'm just leaving that for her. In fact, I picked up a little nutcracker for her. So when I see something that I think she would like, I'll just get it for her. But yeah, also I feel like I'm moving my hands a lot and the lighting is getting questionable. So this is probably going to be entertaining, but yeah, I don't typically get clothes at yard sales. I just don't like, I don't know. I don't like digging when I'm talking to someone and, you know, passing up everything. So it's not, yard sales are typically hard goods for me, and the weirder the better. I like odd, I like electronics, I like bulky, strange. Yeah, and yeah. All right. Since you're on Mercari now, you will have a second platform for hard goods. Yeah, I haven't listed hard goods there. I'm doing it currently by section on eBay and cross-listing them. So I've done most of the tops, I've done athletic wear, I've done shorts, I've started dresses, and I'm just kind of going in chunks trying to catch up, but I'll eventually get to some hard goods and see how that does. Looks like Amber's talking about the seller insight. Lots of people have been talking about it. So that sounds like, oh, it only works for iPhones though. Okay, well, that's good to know. I'll definitely check it out. Let's see. That's silly. That's silly. I'm assuming that you're talking about them not wanting to advertise in ads because they don't want people from cities. I've learned that living, and if you live in a rural area, maybe this is like every rural area, but moving from a city, I'm very much into why not use technology that everywhere else is using, but they just don't. And I think there's the small town charm that I can now appreciate. But when I first moved here, it was driving me a little nuts. So yeah, I think they're just comfortable with what they know, the majority of people here. And I think there's also a lot of cops and fire. There's just a lot of correctional officers and sheriffs. And there's just a lot of people who just, they want, I don't know, some protection, privacy. So, all right, we're coming up on we're a little past an hour. So if you guys have any other questions, I don't want to take this too long. Although you guys are here hanging out with me, which I really appreciate. So, and if you guys are thrifting, I hope you guys are finding some good stuff. My plan when the thrift stores open is to go. I do want to create a little bit of a death pile just in case. I kind of got rid of a death pile. And so I'd like to build a little bit of a death pile, security pile, as I like to call it. But I really want to wait for some sales. Like, I feel like when the thrift stores open and their donation centers open, it might take a few weeks for the sales to come through and for them to get overwhelmed. I could be wrong, but I'm going to go and dabble a little bit, wear my mask, you know, social distance, all of that kind of stuff, follow whatever store policies they have. But I think probably my hardcore sourcing will probably be weeks after they reopen, because that's when I think that they're gonna have to move through product. So fingers crossed. Are the thrift stores open at your location yet? If not, where do you source? Hi, Nilda. I hope I said that right. No, they're not open in any part of Southern California, but there is a county, the county that I live in, that could be opening before LA County and some of the other counties in Southern California. So I'm just keeping tabs on each county. If it's within a couple hours, I will definitely drive there. So there's probably, when you look at the coast, some of the coastal counties, some of the central counties and then LA County. I probably wouldn't go as far as San Diego or as far as, you know, San Francisco Bay Area, but everywhere else kind of in the middle. If it's open, I might take a trip. So, but as of right now, California is still a little bit more strict. So, oh, thank you, Thriving Treehouse. That's really sweet. I try not to have too much fluff. I also try and leave in mistakes. I feel like when I can't speak correctly because I stutter occasionally, or I feel like leaving that stuff in just shows that I'm human, and hopefully people just appreciate that because it's embarrassing. And your son got a free ride to UC? I think I missed this. That's incredible. Congrats to your son. That's a huge accomplishment. The UC system, University of California system, that's an amazing system. There's a lot of great UC schools. So yeah, I went to San Jose State, which is part of the California State school system. And then there's the University of California system, and both are great. Some schools are better in certain areas. Like my school was really big into engineering because it was Silicon Valley. I also went to like 8 or 9 colleges in total. So that's just the one I graduated from. But UCs, they're some of the best for sure. Unless you guys are very anti-UC for like sports reason, in which case they're terrible. I don't follow the sports stuff. Samantha, your Goodwill in New Hampshire has been open for about a week and there isn't much to choose from, very bare. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I feel like they're gonna have to, and actually I think Lori just put out a video, Lori Tata, that she went thrifting in New Hampshire, I believe. So I'm gonna have to watch her video and see what happened. But I think it's gonna take a few weeks for them to process stuff. I could be wrong, but yeah. Les, you're creating a security pile. The Goodwill opened in Georgia. Yeah, so Georgia, wasn't that the first state that opened? I know Arizona had Goodwills open pretty early, and I think Georgia. So yeah, I'd be creating that's what I am gonna do. If I can have kind of just constantly maintain 100 to 200 items, and then, if anything happens this fall or something and things get shut down again, hopefully the lighting is I feel like we're gonna start getting some really interesting lighting effects, but that's okay. Natural lighting for the win. How many items do you have on Mercari, and what is a fast way to cross-post from eBay? Rocky Mountain Values. So I am currently testing out List Perfectly. They have a bulk feature, which I really, really, really like. Now, Vendu has some features that I would like. So right now I am currently bulk cross-listing to Mercari from eBay using List Perfectly. I think it's $40-something a month. I went with the business plan. And I did not ask them. I probably could have gotten it for free, but I really wanted to pay my own money and have a fair and balanced review. I did ask them if they could send me an affiliate link. That way, if I do talk about it, I would share it with you guys. But I think they're changing their affiliate program. So yeah, and the dog is starting to get antsy. So I've got treats here. She's gonna get sick. You're open in Utah, Jennifer, for the majority of thrifts. The crowds are small, which is nice. Yeah, that's the other thing. It's going to be interesting to see the crowds, who feels comfortable going out, or how often, are people going to buy more stuff that maybe they wouldn't buy before because they're just doing a weekly, thrift day instead of multiple days a week. I was always kind of dealing with that since I have to commute to thrift stores, but it'll be interesting to see what they're like around me. Oh, Lori is telling me, okay, got 1 item from Goodwill and 5 items from Savers, and she was pretty disappointed. Yeah, okay, well, that's setting us up for success. What do you guys mean by bare? I always find stuff, cartload, nothing crazy most of the time, but stuff that sells for 20 or more, I'm good with that. Yeah, I think bare, I think it's interesting, and it'd be interesting to know how people adapt. If you have a very specific style that you shop for, maybe you only shop for clothing in a very specific style. I'm sure this has got to be a rough time because, yeah, for me, I'm selling things I would never normally sell, but I'll sell most things. I've never been too picky. When I go out sourcing and I spend my own money on things, I do pick things that I like or have a strong resale value or I'm more confident in. But these days I'm just like, hey, if I can keep listing, I'm happy. So, all right. Oh, New England Betty Boop, you're gonna sign up with List Perfectly? Yeah, I tested out both List Perfectly and Vendu probably 6 to 9 months ago. Both had pros and cons. And Vicky from Katie and Vicky, I met them at eBay Open in Vegas. And and she was also part of my box swap, Vicky was, but she did a video on List Perfectly that got me to try List Perfectly again because they have this bulk feature. Now, what it does is I can select on eBay 10, 15, 20 items, and it'll start populating those in different tabs. If you have a really terrible internet connection or your computer's a little older like my last one was, it may be hard to have that many tabs open, but for right now, it really does kind of streamline it. So Amber, you're leaving. Thanks for hanging out. I'm sure I will text you soon. So Les, you're asking if I ordered liquidation pallets. I'm probably only going to answer a couple more questions just because, but I'll do another live if you guys want in a couple weeks. It's just fun to hang out with people. So I don't do any liquidation. I did try out BNG trading. I purchased something with my own money 4 months ago, approximately 4 or 5 months ago. It was not great, and I was in communication with the owner, or I believe it was the owner, and he did recover the situation. And so I have nothing bad to say about the recovery process for me in that moment, but I just decided, I sometimes watch the videos. I think it just depends on what you like at this time, if it brings in inventory and helps you list. But for right now, I'm really enjoying the free inventory. I'd rather sell something for $10 and get it for free than buy something for, $5 or $6 and potentially only sell it for 10. Because I think that's the thing, is there might be some good things in these pallets, but there's also probably a lot of duds. And so there's probably just, figuring out, does it make sense for you? But for a lot of people right now, they just need to list. And I 100% get that. So, oh, Deborah, you missed the first 40 minutes. It'll be up. It'll be saved. Just random questions that I'm chatting about. If you guys have a topic that you want like a whole video on, a whole live on, let me know, send me a message or a comment. Because I feel like I've done a lot of videos. There's some certain topics I don't talk about too much, but if there's a topic, I'm happy. Come here, boo. She's standing by the door because she would like to go outside to go catch the rabbits, but that's not going to happen right now. All right. Yeah, Vicky, that's a good point. You wish you could do List Perfectly from a phone. Yeah, I would say a week ago I got an upgrade on a computer, which was refurbished from Apple. And it makes a huge difference using List Perfectly, having a more updated. My other computer was 9 years old, so it was much harder to use something like that. But yeah, so I think it just depends on the situation. Good night, Lori. Thanks for hanging out. Let's see. Okay. I don't see too much more. You were considering getting the basic level. Yeah, the basic level, I think the reason I didn't go the basic was it didn't carry over certain things. So I went with the middle, and I think it was 40 or 50, somewhere $40 or $50. I think they have a trial too, but I just got the month to month. So I will keep you posted. Sourcing online tips, I have zero, Joda. I am not a big online sourcing person, so I am pretty terrible at advice there. Other than if you like it, do it. If you don't, don't feel forced, because I certainly am not doing it. Les, you were thinking about getting a B&G. Yeah, some of the stuff is good in some of the videos. I know some people say that people that have YouTube channels might get better stuff. I certainly did not with my first box, although they didn't know I don't think they looked me up or anything. So I would say it's probably like a lot of things. It's a hit or miss. You could probably get some great boxes, and maybe you could get a dud, but I think it seems like they're learning from their mistakes is from what I can see. So resale secrets. Do I offer free returns or buyer paid? I do buyer paid on eBay, and very rarely do I have a situation that causes a problem. Most of the time they return it, they pay, and I refund the cost of the item, but I don't refund the original shipping. So it's interesting to me. Like sometimes someone will have they'll pay $10 for an item and it costs $4 to ship to them, and then they'll pay $4 to ship back, but they'll do it. So yeah. Style on sale. You ordered a Nordstrom Revolve box from B&G to give it a try. Yeah, I think that's a pretty popular box. And especially right now, if you really like selling kind of trendy stuff, they do have some trendy boxes. So I think anything is worth giving a shot, especially if you don't have thrift stores open, or you aren't comfortable going to them yet. You had a theory, but got okay stuff. Oh, I had that theory, but I got okay, Steph, as a buyer that wasn't on YouTube, but now is some Free People Lucky Brand, lots of stains in the returns though. Ouch, most came out. Oh, interesting. So you got the returns box. Yeah. So anyways, thanks everyone for hanging out. I'm going to call it a night. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. I'll see you guys soon. And Luna, we'll see you soon. If you want to check out my other channel, it's linked below. And if you got a bag, send me your address so I can send it to you. So, all right. Bye guys.